Okay, so recently we put up a video on the Unleashed channel where someone was talking about, I forget who, I think it was William Plays. William Plays had made a video where it was the World of Warcraft narrative versus the Final Fantasy XIV narrative. And at the time, I can't believe I did that, but I was like, okay, this might just be a coincidence. This might just be, I mean, it just feels like it's one of those things where you just get this vibe that it's like, this feels so incredibly blatant that I can't even believe, like, my mind can't even accept that literally anyone in their right mind would do something as blatant as this, right? Which was the fact that Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker is going to conclude the 10-year saga. This is something that we've known for a significant amount of time. This news was, reported on the 6th of February, 2021. So we knew that Endwalker, as a matter of fact, pretty much since Endwalker was announced, we knew that Endwalker was going to be the end of the Hydaelyn Zodiark saga. We knew this. And so eventually when Blizzard came out with patch 9.2 and they said, oh, this is the final chapter of the Warcraft 3 saga. This is actually the first time I feel like Blizzard has said something like, oh, we're ending a chapter of literally anything. I feel like this is the first time, because beyond that, Blizzard's just like, oh yeah, we got a new story. We're churning out a new story. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Always just like, continuing forwards. I mean, I shouldn't really say continuing forwards. It's more like stumbling forwards, tripping all over themselves, and just like completely butchering the World of Warcraft lore. I mean, the Warcraft lore, not just World of Warcraft lore. But, when people started making the claim that like, oh yeah, they're copying it, they're just blatantly copying it, I was like, okay, look, there are some things that I can see. This one, I don't know. I just wasn't feeling it. I was probably wrong. Blizzard is most likely so creatively bankrupt that, yeah, they did it. At this point, I actually think that they did it, and I will tell you why. As we scroll down this particular image that we have right here. I mean, it's got obviously on title, Blizz, can I copy your homework? Square, sure. Just don't make it obvious that you copied it. So one of the first claims is this one, that basically they started saying, Art, it's like, you guys are finishing a major story chapter? Us too! What a coincidence! And again, I gave them the benefit of the doubt. This is for all those people that keep telling me that I'm biased against Blizzard and that I'm evil and that I just want to see them burn. I gave them the benefit of the doubt in that video. I did. But since then, more things have been brought to light. Things that I hadn't even noticed. I mean, obviously, first we have the water in 9.2, which is ridiculous. This one to me is more just like a meme thing. The fact that somebody actually approved that video and they were like, oh yeah, we should definitely make a big deal of this water. Like, there is something about their water that they think is special, which is not that special. And obviously we have places that we walk on water as well in 14, but you can even walk on water in World of Warcraft. So this one I'm like, whatever. Now, the jailer looking like Xenos was something that I hadn't really considered. I hadn't really considered all that much. I guess the armor does look fairly similar in some aspects, but this is whatever. However, some of the other stuff, when you start thinking about it, it's like, oh, Shadowbringers, Shadowlands, Endwalker, Eternity's End. It's like you start to see a pattern. You start to see a pattern, and this is a pattern that keeps on going. Like, you have this one here, which is another thing that we pointed out in a previous stream. It wasn't even me, it was one of you guys that brought this up, that like, oh, this 9.2 thing, they sound like the Ancients. And you're like, oh, yeah, they do. We actually played a clip, and these, they don't sound exactly the same, but it is like these weird sounds that they got going whenever the Ancients speak. They also speak like with weird sounds. So, you could say, okay, they were inspired by that, sure. But it's like, okay, so you're going to end your saga just like Endwalker. You're going to get inspired by the musical tones. You know, when Shadowbringers was out, you guys made the Shadowlands. Endwalker was announced. You guys named your patch Eternity's End. And then you also have, this is something that was, you know, this particular quest line that talks about this pragmatic Amarotine. This is a quest line from 2019. They will invoke Armadia's spells of creation to birth an entity all-encompassing magnificence, and then they will rewrite the laws of existence. And then you see the jailer's speech, which is to rewrite the rules of reality. Yeah, it's not the laws of existence, it's the rules of reality. But the biggest one, the one where I'm like, okay, dude, this was the one that to me is like, okay, this is just like blatant. This is just you being blatant. Now, if you guys are not up to Shadowbringers yet, don't worry, this is not a spoiler or anything. All you need to know is that this item right here is a very important item in Shadowbringers. And eventually when you pick it up, you will understand. But right now you don't know, you have no context as to what the hell this is. So it's not really a spoiler. But suffice it to say, this is a super important thing in Shadowbringers. All right? This thing right here, omega important. And then the fact that Blizzard just I mean, come on, dude. Like, what the fuck, dude? You know, this was where I was like, okay, you know, if you're going to go this far, then to me, it's just like you're not even trying anymore. It is what it is. They're not even trying to hide it at this point. This is completely and utterly ridiculous. This is supposed to be the Harbiter's Sigil or whatever, which it's like literally creatively bankrupt. Creatively bankrupt, dude. And it's like, we can all say, well, yeah, but Blizzard has done this in the past. Like, you look at Overwatch, and it's just, you know, it's their version of Team Fortress 2. You look at Diablo, and it's like their version of Baldur's Gate. You look at, I don't know, Warcraft, and it's their version of, like, Dune 2 or Command and Conquer, or any of the other RTSs that were in there. And, you know, StarCraft kind of, like, similar and whatnot. And it's like, you look at their franchises and you can kind of like draw a parallel. World of Warcraft, it's EverQuest 2. It's their version of EverQuest 2. As a matter of fact, Jeff Kaplan, I think it was Jeff Kaplan, he even had that big post that he made where he just like thrashed the developers of EverQuest 2, right? So it's like, yeah, Warcraft has a history of grabbing things and improving them. But this isn't grabbing something and improving it. This is blatantly copying something. It's just blatant. Like, I'm sorry. There's no... Are you joking? Like, is this some kind of a joke? Because it's not funny. Especially for someone like me who at the end of the day, like, I kind of want to see Blizzard eventually. You know, You can say maybe I'm hooked on hopium, but at the end of the day, I would like to eventually see a redeeming arc for Blizzard, and I would like to see World of Warcraft regain a little bit of its lost glory. This ain't it, Chief. Like, just blatant plagiarism? I mean, come on, dude. Everybody sees what you're doing here. And it's like, it's one thing to be inspired by something. It's another thing to just flat out rip it off. It's so ridiculous, dude. It's like, I can't believe that at this point I'm just like, why did I even give them the benefit of the doubt? I gave them the benefit of the doubt with them ending the story. Clearly that was a mistake. Oh, man. I'm just beyond disappointed. Beyond disappointed, dude.